League. This week, the preliminary final with minor premiers East's Tigers and knockout semi-winners North's Devils at Lang Park, playing for a spot in next week's grand final against West's. Your commentators, former Australian representatives Tom Raudonikis and David Wright, with ABC Sport's Gerry Collins and Warren Boland.
Hello everyone, welcome to the preliminary final with a grand final berth at stake for the winner, but for the loser, it's the end of the road. Norths were in good form beating Wynnum in the minor semi, but East, beaten by West last week, have been hit by injuries. They haven't made any changes, and they are boosted by the return from suspension of front rower Peter Anderson. Well, joining us for the final and grand final is Gerry Collins, back from the Barcelona Olympics. And Gerry, if previous results this season mean anything, well, East must go in as favourites.
Yes, Warren, if you go on form this year between the two sides, East have to be favourite. They've met 3 times and East have won all 3 matches. On May the 10th, East 22 beat North's 10. Then in the Chairman's Trophy, East 24, North 16, winning by 8 points. And then in the second round, East 17 beat North 6. So it really has been all East this year. But this is a final. Anything can happen in a final. And the weather might play a part as well. We've had rain this morning. David Wright, will that favour either team?
Gerry, I doubt it. Lang Park, traditionally the best wet weather ground in Australia. The conditions here, the surface looks perfect. I'd say both sides will try to throw the ball around. Even conditions now seem to be finding up pretty well. Looking at the two sides, I thought Eastern Suburbs, very disappointing last week. They'll be able to improve, especially territorially. Norths, on the other hand, very impressive 2 weeks ago. They moved the ball wide against Wynnum Manly. They'll try and do the same thing today against a very short Eastern Suburbs defensive line.
Thanks, David Wright. And it's do or die, Tom. How do you see it?
Oh, it should be a super game, Warren. One would think that East coach John Lang shot a Chinaman. He's going to have a few players out there today not fully fit. Norths are looking really good. Their forwards are very strong, and their back line, led by Mark Callaway, they're starting to really hit top gear. John Lang, he's going to have to dig really deep in that bag of tricks, but I'm sure that he can come up with something, and I'm tipping East to win.
And here come the Tigers, led out by the very experienced Gavin Payne, who will be retiring after this season. And the Tigers hungry for a win today. At fullback is Paul Mulvihill. On one wing is Rob Cannon. The centre pair, Gavin Payne and Greg Street. Andrew McGowan, the other winger. Steve Dowden at 5'8". Paul Green is the halfback. And the forward lineup, Bruce Crosby at lock. Second row pair, Scott Nielsen and Darren Crothers. Into the front row comes Peter Anderson alongside hooker Andrew Neve and Steve Herman. And the coach is John Lang. And Darryl Duncan leads out the Devils. A very determined, very powerful outfit. At fullback is Noel Tierney. On the wings, Guy Harvey and Danny Cramery, with Brett Kelso and Mark Kellaway, the centre pair. Paul Macbeth at 5'8". Craig Rourke is the halfback. Ian McKenzie in at lock forward, a powerful forward pack. Darryl Duncan and Danny Johnson in the second row. Joe Topping, Troy Evans and Jason Adams, the front row. And the coach is Dave Brown. Peter Anderson, number 10, in the front row. Back from a long suspension, and East need his size in that front row. They were out-muscled last week by West. He will have a big role to play. And Danny Johnson showed some real skills in the minor semi-final. He followed Dave Brown down from Harvey Bay, just 22 years of age, strong and skillful. The referee is Jeff Mines, the president of the Brisbane Referees Association. Play underway in this preliminary final from the boot of Guy Harvey. The sun breaking through just as the game gets underway. Paul Mulvihill dropping the ball back towards his goal line and tackled just 9 metres out by Darryl Duncan. Scott Nielsen bringing it up, makes good ground. Got away from Joe Topping, but the others came in with Johnson there and McKenzie. Good strong defence early by North as East get it up to the 22. Fighting to his feet is Herman. Now it's Anderson. After a long layoff, but no doubt he has been training. It wasn't an injury that's kept him out, just the judiciary. Dummy half, it's Neve looking for touch. A good deep kick, bouncing towards the line and finds it. Fine work by Andrew Neve out of dummy half. Good left foot kick.
Yes, we see here Andrew Neve, a good little kick, and it is really a good thing when the dummy half can kick a football. So that's good work by the hooker Andrew Neve.
And North have got the scrum win with the feed. Stealing away on the blind side was Groff. Now Crammery from dummy half. He's quickly taken by Paul Green.
Warren, interesting there, both hookers pushing and shoving at one another as they came out of the scrum, and of course Troy Evans, a very fiery customer, and he was involved in that first scrum with Andrew Neve.
The first penalty of the match goes to North against Scott Nielsen, trying to rip the ball out in the tackle. Couldn't really see it there, but the referee right on the spot. And Groff looks for touch. East had a number of injury worries coming into the game. In the early games here in the Colts, it was a win to Ipswich, 26 points to 0. So they go through to the grand final. In reserves, in extra time, Souths beat Norths, 30 points to 24. So Souths go through to the grand final, and in both Colts and reserves, they'll be meeting East. East in both lower grades through to the grand final. They're trying to get the firsts there as well. The ball lost backwards, and East have got it. Coming away with it was Nielsen.
Yeah, good defence there by the halfback Paul Green for East, and it was a jarring tackle which jarred the ball loose from the Norse player, and East now in possession.
Crosby goes to the blind side, up towards the halfway. Good, short, sharp burst. He had support, didn't use it, but made good ground. Now it's Nielsen who's getting involved early on.
Warren, I spoke with Johnny Lang just before the match here, and a couple of things. He felt last night's training run was the best they put in for a long time, so he's very happy with the preparation, but very unhappy at the time, as both coaches would be, with once again extra time making this game start at 3:30. The players have been in the dressing rooms an extra half an hour.
As East find touch just out from the corner post, but Tom, it must be difficult for coaches preparing their first grade lineups, and they want to get out right on 3 o'clock. They time their motivation.
Yes, it really does bug coaches, because now the league have got to look into this, especially in semi-finals, to start the games earlier, because you do G your players up, their blood's at a pressure point, and in that 20 minutes they can lose concentration, and you have to start all again. They have to do something about it.
And North's in possession from the scrum when Tierney plays it back. Johnson stepping off his right foot, can't get through the tackle of Anderson. Groff moves it wide. Macbeth takes the tackle. Up quickly on him was Neve, and help from Crosby. Bit of indecision from Brett Kelso at dummy half. He couldn't find a kicker. Now it's the 5th tackle, just outside their own 22, the Devils. Groff under pressure, and he got an elbow in the face after he got the kick away. It must be a penalty. There's been no movement from the referee or the touch judges. Surely they saw it. Now the touch judge is in. Well, from my viewing, this was a shocker. Groff was hit. It appeared in the face with a forearm jolt as he got the kick away, and it was clearly late. Coming in there with the elbow, he may have been just sliding underneath a little.
Yeah, and I think that was Steve Herman who delivered that elbow, and that should be a send-off.
Jeff Mines would be reluctant to send a player off this early in the game. 10 minutes in the sin bin, and he can count himself lucky. It was stupid, dangerous football by Steve Herman. John Lang and his East teammates would be well pleased that it's not a send-off, and really Steve Herman could have let his team down badly there if he'd left them with 12 men after just 5 minutes of play. North's fine touch. Taking the tap, 28 metres out, as Evans gives it away to Topping.
East are still persisting with this pushed-in defence, and if North use their brains a little bit, they will spread this ball wide. But we see there North, I think it was Denny Johnson, making a mistake, and have turned the ball over on the first tackle to East. But North must spread this ball wide to catch East's defence.
There was some kind of misunderstanding between Groff and Evans, and the pass ended up on the ground. Evans was nearly offside. He thought about reaching for the pass. Now Green with the dummy. Good tackle, though, by Ian McKenzie, breaking from the scrum base, chasing across field. Now it's Anderson, warming to his task. He gets it up to halfway. But the injury problems for East as they lose the ball here. Crothers putting it down, and it's a double knock-on by Norths. The injuries for East coming into this game. They lost Darren Windmill with a shoulder injury. They've already lost Paul Lusk out for the year with a knee problem, as a good strong tackle caused Crothers to lose the ball as well there. Paul Green is hobbling. He is out near the sideline talking to the trainer, and a replacement is on the way, so that's bad luck already for East. Green, one of their key players, leaves the field, and on comes Rob Duncan. David, any indication of the problem with Paul Green?
Well, obviously a leg injury, Warren, and he's in quite a bit of difficulty. I think he was in some doubt, so Robbie Duncan straight to the half-back position.
He feeds the scrum. It's an East scrum win. Mulvihill on the blind side. Taken from behind by Groff. Down on the Devils 22. Quick play the ball. Mulvihill goes himself.
Well, East won't lose nothing with young Rob Duncan coming on the field. He mainly plays 5'8", but can fill in in the half-back position, and he'll do a fine job.
Brothers flying onto the pass that time. Now it goes wide. Dowden turns it on the angle to Gavin Payne. Taken by Topping. Great cover defending tackle. East looking dangerous. Duncan to dummy half. He gets it to Anderson. Tries to beat the tackle of Kellaway. He can't, but they're only 3 metres out. Duncan a dummy half again. It goes to Neves standing one off the ruck. He throws the pass to Payne. He flings it on to Nielsen. Now it's Crosby. Dowden took his eye off the ball. Had to hang on to the pass. Now the kick ahead. Tierney picks it up for North, and the referee says play on. North's defence holding out, but East threatening. Now it's Topping.
Darryl Duncan there's either got an extra turn of speed we never thought he had, or he must have been just a touch offside to get to Neve as quickly as what he did.
And the penalty goes to Norths. It's against the markers, I believe, from East. The markers not standing directly in front. Gerry Collins, East looking more dangerous than they were last week early in the match.
Yes, they certainly are. North's now in a situation of looking to make ground, get it away from their half, because East have been applying the pressure. And as we were seeing earlier, East have won all the encounters between these two matches this year. And they've started strongly, although, of course, they've had that blow now with Paul Green going off.
Another replacement here for North, Jerry. We've got Bob Campbell going on and Troy Evans off the field, so that'll be very disruptive for the Devils.
So North's with the ball now. Darryl Duncan caught. They're about 5 metres in Balmain, in Eastern Suburbs territory. Colours getting used to them.
They will miss Troy Evans, because Troy Evans' dummy half play, it's really good because he makes great yardage. He can kick from dummy half, and they will miss his aggression.
Good run by Danny Johnson now to get it up about 32 metres out, so this is North's opportunity now. And here's a great run by Groff, turning it back inside. The support's there, and now North's just 12 metres out, but this is the 5th tackle. So North's, which direction can they go? Good kick through by Groff. That might have been knocked on by Peter Anderson. It is. So the referee indicating a knock on, and this scrum feed to North's right in front of the goalposts.
Good thinking here by Craig Groff. He knew it was the last tackle, puts a little grubber in, and Peter Anderson knocks on. Craig Groff, he's really reading the play well. Made a beautiful break a few seconds ago, and we see a penalty now go to North.
And it's a straight penalty as well. So, or isn't it? No, they won't be able to go for goal.
Yeah, differential penalty there for Norse, and Norse looking very dangerous here with their attack. Mackenzie, he'll take the tap. Where's Darryl Duncan? Just watch for him.
Well, Mackenzie there getting reasonably close, and now Paul Macbeth. Just 5 metres out. Craig Groff goes in to be a dummy half, and there are various options available. North's getting very, very close. Just 2 metres out now. And what's just a little knock on there. So that's proven to be just, well, disadvantageous to Norths, because they're really on the move and stopped just 2 metres short. Good defence by East. And that ball just coming out of the hands of the Norths player. Now good pressure here by Norths. Groff's come up with it. Here's a chance for a try, and Groff goes over. Can he get it down? He's been held up. Craig Groff held up. Well, once again, good defence from East. But boy, that was close.
Oh, good work there by North. Look, they won that scrum against the feed, and Craig Groff just took the situation in hand, and was very unlucky not to score a try. North looking very impressive at the moment.
So East feed again. This time East come up with it, but the penalty goes to East. So a scrum differential penalty, and that'll ease the pressure on the Tigers, because they've certainly been under a bit.
Certainly have, Jerry, and one of the interesting things is that big Bob Campbell is actually packing down into hooking role, and what Norths are doing when they haven't got loose head and feet is just setting up the biggest push possible, looking to win it against the head, and they got one of those.
Peter Anderson taking it forward. They're about 10 metres from halfway now. So East, having repelled that attacking few minutes from Norths, look to see if they can work their way forward. Andrew Nee playing very well for East, and setting up a nice break by Bruce Crosby as well. So now East, they've looked good in attack and plenty of running strongly onto the ball. That's what they need. Taking play up now just 23 metres out from the North's line. So going the blind side, Neve, and very effective Anderson running off Neve there, very close to him. So now only about 12 metres out. East, are they going to spread it wide this time? Here goes the high kick. It's going across field, anybody's ball. And East have come up with possession, and here's an opportunity out wide. And over in the corner goes Greg Street for an East try. So Greg Street scores and puts the first points on the board as East go to a 4-0 lead in the final. And coming up will be an opportunity. Now, there was the high kick. Now, it went across field. You can see the players here. There's sun in their eyes. They're not quite sure where it is. The bounce didn't favour anybody. And then the ball coming up over the top. There to take it was Street. And all he had to do was head for the corner. And the first try of the match going to East. Greg Street goes over.
Yeah, Paul Mulville here puts up a great bomb. But the North's players just stood there and watched the ball in the air. Why didn't they go for the ball? And great work here by Robbie Cannon. Just gets the ball out to Greg Street, and doesn't he love to score tries? And I think there's a bit of a smile on his face today.
Paul Mulvihill with his conversion attempt. Around the corner. Looking to make it 6-0. It's not an easy one. And it's away to the right. So no goal. The score remains East 4, Norths 0.
Credit to East this, because they've been down to 12 men with Steve Herman off the field. Good high kick by Mulvihill, and he takes the second part in this particular passage of play. He's there to recover that ball, pop it on. Robbie Cannon on the infield, out to Greg Street, who had really interchanged positions there. Gets across in the corner. Good work from East. They're now back to 13 men. Steve Herman on.
Kick off by Norths and taken by Paul Mulvihill. So East, they've been playing confidently. That'll give them more confidence, and that's a good run by Darren Crothers, still going. So he's taken it up to within 15 metres of the halfway. Good work by Darren Crothers, and again, Anderson has been doing a tremendous amount of work. So when the forwards are doing all that hard work up front, there's no wonder East have been able to get up and make good territory. This is Bruce Crosby now, just short of the halfway. And how quickly, Tom, East have taken that ball to so close to North's territory, and now, of course, in it.
Yeah, great set of six there by East. All part of it. It's really good. Blocker Anderson, I call him Blocker Anderson because he reminds me of Steve Roach. And I just hope he does last the distance, because he hasn't played for a number of weeks, and he's doing a tremendous job, as is Darren Crowthers.
Yes, well, they're putting the pressure on North. That kick not quite finding the corner, going into touch-in goal from Paul Mulvihill, but it means that Norths bring it back to the 22. So East are where they wanted to be, right up in North's territory. And they look up at the scoreboard, which is also up that end, and see that they're leading 4-0. So now Norths see if they can have an equally effective set of six early.
Yeah, there's three East players in every tackle. They're a lot more determined at this stage than Norths are, and Darryl Duncan just taking the ball up, taking things into his own hands. But very impressed with the East forwards, with their defence and their running.
Yes, North's working it forward now, Danny Johnson. And that's Robert Campbell at dummy half, and the kick through will find touch, but they've found touch in East's territory, of course, but it's a matter of whether or not they can go on with it, because East will have the feed into the scrum. Darryl Duncan, his side will be looking to him for leadership today. So this scrum is about 25 metres out from East line, but it's won by East. Duncan with it. Some good solid defence there coming from Ian McKenzie. So Scott Nielsen as East work their way forward. Good break here by Andrew Neve. He's played a tremendous game so far. Beautifully set up for Rob Cannon, and he's tackled 18 metres out.
What a great covering tackle there by Paul Macbeth for Norse. He saved the day.
Neve right in the middle of it again. Mulvihill with a kick over the top. Here's an interesting chase. This will be close. East players calling for a try. The referee will have a close look. He's awarded the try. A try to East, and they go to an 8-0 lead. Great work by East. They're playing fantastic football. Neve right in the middle of it all, and then that kick over the top by Mulvihill. East had plenty of support players there. There's the pass from Neve. Mulvihill with the kick over the top. Now let's watch the chasers. Anderson, number 10, is there, and Greg Street. And Street, or is it the winger, might have actually picked it up. It might have been Rob Cannon.
McGowan, I think.
Yeah, good work here by Andrew Neve and also Paul Mulvihill. A beautiful little chip, and I think number 6, Steve Dowden, gets this ball down. Let's have a look here. I'll tell you what,
it's close.
I'll tell you what, he might have bounced that ball also. I think that might have been a no try.
And so East lead 8-0, and they might even be fighting amongst themselves as to who scored it. So Mulvihill now with this conversion attempt. First one was unsuccessful. This one is just as difficult, right in the shadow of the Frankfurt stand. And you can see there that he's got an acute angle to try and put this ball through. Now let's see if this is a better one. Well, it's away to the right and didn't quite have the legs to get there either. So the score remains East 8, leading Norths 0.
Sign of a good side to go on with it after a big breakdown field. That's exactly what East had the advantage of. I thought Mulvihill could have run it there because he had plenty of support and could have passed. He elected the kick, put it right into the corner. It was the winger in Andrew McGowan who's come through. He's the one accredited for the try. Eastern Suburbs' second try in command.
So it was a controversial try. But East right in the thick of things with 2 early tries. Unable to convert both of them. But here's Darren Crothers, who started it all just some 5 minutes ago when he made great ground from the first restart by North. Here's Nielsen now. This is a different Tigers side to last week. Their forwards are making ground all the time.
But Warren, going back to that try just scored by Andrew McGowan, now that the touch judge, he was Johnny on the spot there. Now I don't think that was a try. I think he definitely didn't ground the ball. Now that 4 points could really hurt North as the game goes on longer. What are these touch judges doing? Aren't they concentrating?
Well, there's been plenty of controversy about the work of touch judges this weekend. And here's North with Neil Tierney, 10 metres out from their own goal line. Anderson cleans him up. He came in with his body and knocked him flying backwards. Tierney copped a heavy one. Here's Danny Cramery, lifted by Street and dumped heavily. Cramery fighting to his feet quickly, though. Now it's Guy Harvey. Norths know they're in trouble. The look on Cramery's face when that try was awarded was one of real anguish. They're going to have to lift themselves. Here's Topping.
Well, I think Norths are using the wrong tactics. They're prepared just to take this ball one up all the time. Nobody backing up. There's no back line in position. They should be swinging this ball, using it at all times, using their outside men, and they're not doing that.
Macbeth kicking out of dummy half, but is quickly gathered by Mulvihill, who's full of running. Mackenzie makes a great tackle. Great tackle by Mackenzie. He was beaten for pace, but dived full length and managed to collar Mulvihill. Now it's McGowan. 9 metres inside the North's half. Herman, after 10 minutes in the sin bin for that early, late high tackle. Duncan goes across to Dowden. Dowden breaks the tackle. Still going. Dowden. Steve Dowden has support inside. Duncan sprinting to the line. He's chased by Tierney, but Tierney can't get to him. And East make it 3 tries in 25 minutes. Great pace to finish off that try. It all started by Duncan and Dowden. East 12, Norths 0. The Norths defence opening up as Duncan went across field. Dowden there beats one tackle, finds himself in open spaces. Mackenzie couldn't get to him, nor could Kellaway. Backing up beautifully on the inside was Rob Duncan. He started it, he finished it, he positioned himself beautifully, and Neil Tierney couldn't make the tackle. Noel Tierney.
Well, North's defence is starting to look like butter, and good work here by the little halfback Robbie Duncan, and also Steve Dowden, and it's good to see the backing up of little Robbie Duncan. He just sights the try line and put pins the ears back in a good try, but woeful defence, North.
North's coach Dave Brown must be a worried man. He knows his team are not playing well, and already 3 tries have been scored against them. Mulvihill missed his first 2 shots at goal. They were out wide. This is closer, and this time he's successful. Adds 2 points, and he stretched their lead. It's now 14 points to nil after 26 minutes.
The difference between today's game and East of last week was they're getting some attacking ball. They're as good as any side in attack. Steve Dowden goes through very nicely. Great backup down the middle. Rob Duncan came on as a replacement for Paul Green. He finishes it off after starting it. The Tigers in full flight.
North's chase is a little scrappy. There were plenty of them down there, but not in a straight line. Mulvihill losing his footing. Now Greg Street. Kellaway just creeping a little high on his chest with the tackle, but it was okay. Mackenzie underneath. Now Cannon out of dummy half. Norths are going back all the time. Too many errors from Norths early on. 5 drop balls, 10 missed tackles. Now Crosby. It's a good pass to Payne, keeping it alive. Payne slammed to ground by Guy Harvey. 5th tackle. 10 metres inside North's half. The penalty goes against the Devils. Bob Campbell moving up, or Jason Adams it was, moving up too early. And on the last tackle, that's a crucial mistake, gives the penalty.
Well, North's playing very undisciplined football there. They've got to keep their thinking caps on, and Darryl Duncan, you can hear him yelling out to them.
Johnny Lang there, yelling instructions. He's pretty happy with his team's effort. Big improvement on last week. Paul Mulvihill, the 3rd highest point scorer in the competition through the regular season. 30 metres out. He hits it well, and it's over. Didn't really have a lot of distance on it, but enough. And he stretches this lead once more. It's now 16-0 in favour of East. Harvey kicking into the wind. How deep can he get it? Well, East's failed to get under it on the full, but Crothers still with plenty of room to bring it back. Craig Groff trying to cling on to him.
Well, these next 10 minutes, they're very vital to North. They mustn't allow East to score in this period of play, because if they do score, well, North might as well come out in the second half.
North's last premiership win was in 1980. The last grand final appearance was in 1990 with Tommy Raudonikis as coach. Graham Lowe was the coach back in 1980. This sort of a start isn't going to help, and Andrew Neave steals away. He's got support on the inside. Neave looks to them now. He gives it to McGowan. McGowan chased by Cramery, but East has streaked away. McGowan in for the try. Andrew Neave started it. Well, we've still got just under 50 minutes left in the match, but has it gone already? North's down by 20 points. Neave went to the blind side. North's went to the open side. He stretched down the touchline. He had 2 men in support. Really, there was simply no stopping McGowan, and he had Bruce Crosby alongside him. Cramery had no chance at all.
Oh, well, North went to sleep down the blind side, but little Andrew Neave, hasn't he got a good little football brain on him? He's seen they were very short down there, but poor defence again. And Andrew McGowan, this is his 2nd try, and North, it's bye-bye.
Andrew McGowan with a big smile on his face, and why wouldn't he? The 22-year-old carpenter. Paul Mulvihill, who kicked 53 goals and a field goal through the regular season, has kicked 2 from 4 here today. And this is a beauty. Yes, that's a fine kick from out wide. Great kick from Mulvihill. North's without a prayer at this point. They're down by 22 points to nil, 7 minutes till half-time.
Well, I think Norths have read too much of the papers during the week. All the experts were saying East were gone, but they're showing you don't become minor premiers by a fluke. You don't lose only 4 games in the fixtures by a fluke. Andrew McGowan, great backup of a very good player in Andrew Neave.
Harvey gets play underway again, and Gerry Collins, 4 tries to nil. It looks like they're going to race away. An avalanche is on the way.
Well, Tommy was saying that maybe Norths wouldn't have to come out in the second half. If East scored again, we'll have scored again, so it's really going to be hard work for them. And East are immediately putting that pressure back on. This is where they really have been effective, taking the ball up, making good use of the early tackles.
Dave, I think that North's coach, Dave Brown, what he should do at half-time is to bring out the bloody ox heart and show them the ox heart and see what they can do any better. Because that's what I think they need.
Well, it's worked before, Tom, hasn't it? It'll certainly fire them up. But really, North, I think they've come out really expecting to win this game, and far from it. East have been very, very persistent. They've been very, very determined. North have made some too many errors too. Warren quoted some errors there before, drop ball and missed tackles. Whereas if we think back 2 weeks ago, Tom, when they played their first match against Wynnum, they started with a real purple patch. They haven't done that today.
No, they certainly haven't. And as long as they don't throw the towel in, North, and get some respectability back, but you never know. 22 points, North could come back.
Well, here's their opportunity. They probably need to score before half-time. They've got 5 minutes to do that. And if we think back to the beginning of the game, Craig Groff went very close to scoring the first points of the match, actually. So North's now up to about 12 metres of halfway on the 5th tackle. Now Groff. That kick has been charged down, though, by Greg Street. And the referee calls for a scrum. So this scrum is 10 metres in North's territory.
I don't know why he's packed the scrum here, Jerry. I mean, a charge down is not a knock-on. Looked to me like East had regained that. Interestingly enough, he's got North for a knock-on. The East will feed.
So another opportunity for East in North's territory, and an opportunity to go on the attack. And look at this run. Fantastic effort by Rob Duncan, straight through as easy as you like. He's under the goalpost. Rob Duncan scores for East, and they are running away with the match. They lead by 26 points to 0 with 4 minutes to go to half-time. Well, it was just so easy for him. I'm sure he couldn't believe his eyes. Suddenly, the opening was there, put on the pace, and away he went. Looked around to his left, could see that it was just a matter of falling over, and another 4 points to the Tigers.
Yeah, Robbie Duncan takes the ball wide. Mark Kellaway stayed on Paul Mulverhill, which he should have done too. But the inside North player there who was at fault, and Robbie Duncan just puts more nails in the coffin.
Now an easier one for Paul Mulverhill from right in front. And he makes no mistake. So 4 from 6 for Paul Mulverhill, and East lead by 28-0.
No better position to attack from than a scrum somewhat in centre field. Robbie Duncan, McKenzie was the man at fault, the lock forward, should have come across to take Duncan. He races away, not a problem. And if you could have seen the stares from the forwards of North as they got up to look around and see Duncan disappearing under the sticks.
Crosby building!
Now Bruce Crosby couldn't get too far that time, but East will be quite happy to watch this clock tick down. Crosby injured in the tackle. At least he's able to get to his feet and play it forward. And now a penalty going to East as well. So this is a chance for them to put 30 points on the board before half-time with just 20 seconds left on the clock. The penalty going to East.
Yeah, we see the young halfback Rob Duncan put the little chip over, but the offender there was Joe Topping. Now, there's no need for that. Norths are in enough trouble as it is, and it looks like they're going to go in here at half-time 30 points down.
Well, there's been trouble with the ball, won't stay still, so back to the old-fashioned methods as Paul Mulverhill comes in for this penalty goal attempt. Scott Nielsen, the man holding the ball. It looks pretty good. It goes through, and that'll be half-time with East leading North by 30 points to 0. So at half-time, the scrum's favouring Norths by 5-4. They've won 1 against the head as well. The penalty's also favouring Norths by 4-3, but that's about where it finishes as far as North's concerned. The tackles in possession, the Tigers 67, Norths 54. And it's in the error count where the picture is really told. The missed tackles, 14 to Norths as opposed to 4 for the Tigers. 1 bad pass to Norths, 6 dropped balls to the Devils as opposed to 2 for the Tigers, and the total errors 21 for Norths, the Tigers 6. No wonder the Tigers are leading 30-0 at half-time.
Paul Mulverhill gets the second half underway, and Norths have it all to do. Danny Cramery brings it back. They have got the wind in this second half, but down 30 points, it's a huge task ahead of them. Darryl Duncan takes it up. Really, they are going to have to completely turn around the first half effort David Wright, what did Dave Brown have to say to them? We might just wait as they swing it wide. It goes out to Brett Kelso, to Guy Harvey, but the defence is across and swings him towards the touchline. Yes, David, what did Dave Brown have to say?
I think, Warren, actually, I just got to the door of the dressing room as Dave Brown walked out well before the end of the first half session. He slammed the door and left the team in there. He'd obviously had plenty to say. One of the things was you can't do anything about what's past. That's a fair point. He's out for them to show their best efforts in the second half. On the other hand, Johnny Lang, all he was prepared to say was, let's do ABC football, which was quite topical for our point of view, I guess, but that's exact words he said. We don't want to be seen as a pretty side. We want to take our chances in the second half, just as we did in the first.
Well, East were very good in control in the first half, very few mistakes, and full of confidence too. After the first few minutes, they suddenly got the feeling that they were in good form and full of confidence. If we look at the defence for East, Nielsen, Neve and Herman, the top tacklers, and for Norths, as East make a breakthrough, Steve Herman, he's only 10 metres out. We'll come back to that tackle count in a moment. East only 10 metres out. It's Neve from dummy half. Out it goes to Crosby. Crosby ducks under a tackle. This North defence has been brittle all day, but Crosby has lost the ball and Groff comes away with it. Campbell in at dummy half and gets it out to Topping. And North's inside their own quarter. If we have a look at their tackle count in the first half, Danny Johnson leading the way. Great effort from him, 18 tackles. Mackenzie has made 15. Jason Adams, 12. The question is, what are the rest of them doing? Out it goes to Kelso. He's got Guy Harvey outside him. East across in cover. Back on the inside is Huxtable. Huxtable showing good pace. Fine cover defence. Takes him towards the touchline. Huxtable, the replacement. In fact, that's Tierney. I'm afraid that was Neil Tierney. Out it comes now to Topping, Kellaway, Duncan. He kicks in behind McGowan, but it's gone too far. So North was their most promising raid of the entire match.
Mate, I feel sorry for you. That'll do.
And a bit of a blue in the scrum. Now they break away. But North concede the penalty. They're inside the 5 metres, and that's a pretty tough call because he's gone across to the blind side to get all the forwards who are coming back from the scrum. Well, they were involved in a stink. They weren't attempting to get involved in the play, and I think that's a tough call from Jeff Mines. Maybe he just wants to separate them and cool them down.
It's exactly what he wanted, Warren, because he was fuming, Mines, when he gave that penalty. He gave a verbal blast to the players. See him look behind there. He decided he'll give the penalty for offside, and he gets those players because he believes they made no attempt to get back onside. He was making a point.
Now big hit comes in on Steve Herman. More pushing and shoving. Tempers are getting frayed now. Jason Adams there pushing Neve and Herman out of his road as he went back onside. Now it's Anderson.
He actually pushed the referee out of the road then too. You want to be careful.
Well, one thing North have got to do, you know, they've got to hold their heads up and get some respectability out of this game. They're not going to do it by fighting, and because that's the easy way out. They've got to play football, and let's see that happen.
Bruce
don't
Crosby.
need that fighting.
Bruce Crosby down 32 metres out. And it's going to take a point a minute from here for North. There's just over 30 minutes to go. And East are leading 30-0. And another penalty goes to East. Frustration from Kelso. They're trying to slow the ball down. A little bit of contact with the head, according to the referee, and yet another penalty to East.
Yeah, silly football there by the North players. It was Brett Kelso and also Jason Adams. You know, they don't need this. And the way the game is going, they're going to get beat by 50.
East, last year's premiers, well on the way to another grand final. As Herman steams forward, gets within 3 metres before they stop him. Slow to clear away from him, Campbell and Mackenzie. The pass intercepted by Huxtable, but he couldn't hang on to it. He anticipated coming off his goal line. He was onside, but it's 6 more tackles to East, only 10 metres out. Now it's Crosby, puts his head down, runs into Campbell. In fact, that's Adams with the arm guard. Now Neve trying to duck under tackles, but no way through. Only 7 metres out. Nielsen goes to dummy half. North short on the blind side. Nielsen goes that way. Crosby, Mulverhill, steps inside one. Still going Mulverhill. Over the top to Cannon. Stepping back inside. Lifted. Hill quickly plays it back. Campbell comes up on Duncan, who tried to flick it out the back. Now the penalty goes to North. or to East, I should say, against North's inside the 5. Never back as that ball was played quickly by Mulvihill. So North's really doing it tough on their own goal line. They've conceded 2 penalties in a row, trying to hold out. And that's Pat Tumavave warming up. A couple of the North supporters must be sad looks on their faces, but eating in unison. Paul Mulvihill trying to rub salt into the Devils' wounds. 15 metres in from touch. He hits it solidly and thumps it between the posts and increases North's embarrassment as Brett Kelso comes up to question referee minds about something. It's 32 points to 0 in favour of East, 27 minutes to go.
Well, Daryl Duncan now with that leg injury has moved on to the wing. Now actually he looks a bit like the old English player Billy Boston, and but I'm sure Daryl Duncan can't even run.
Yes, I don't think he'll be as effective as Billy Boston used to be, Tommy. He was devastating on the wing, wasn't he?
My word, he was.
Hey! Once again, North's just
punch up,
they're going
Kelso.
backwards. And the action is on again. A fight has broken out over on the far side. This time the referee is going to stick with the action, but a penalty has gone to North's. Now, he may have seen something that started that, I don't know. Referee's not interested in the fight. Touch judges. And Scott Nielsen has been sent to the sin bin for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes in the sin bin, and the Tigers play with 12 men for the next 10 minutes, but that all came from an altercation there. The referee saw it, kept on going. Quite a few of the players stayed behind. The end result is Scott Nielsen is off for 10 minutes. So the kick takes North into East territory by 10 metres. Rolfe with the tap. Jason Adams.
Well, I think the game has fallen away with its intensity, and I just hope that both sides, David, can remain cool. We don't want to see any fights. We want to see football.
I agree with you, Tom. It would be very much a shame to see this game erupt, and if both sides just get in and play football, we could still see some good tries scored in the last 20 minutes.
Well, Norths have an opportunity here. They've got the penalty on the 22, Warren.
Craig Groff takes the quick tap. Only 20 metres out now, North, so can they get on the board with any points? Can they get a try? Danny Cramery's going to have a go. He's only 5 metres out. He has tried hard, Cramery. Whenever he gets the ball, he gives it everything. He's got within a metre. It's a great run. Campbell at dummy half, burrows low. He reaches and he scores. It might only be a consolation try, but it's at least a lot better than a duck egg against the team score on the scoreboard. 18 minutes to go. It's 32 points to 4 in favour of East. Give Cramery plenty of credit for getting this close to the line, and then Bob Campbell moves in. He went low underneath the tackles. They were set to try and take him, but he's a big, strong lad, and he went underneath them to just get it down, and referee mind's right on the spot.
Yeah, basic rugby league try this. Close to the line, Robbie Campbell just barges over, and some consolation, I suppose.
Big Bob Campbell, who came off the bench, a 21-year-old truck offsider, and Aspley Jr. with 3 years with Norths. Guy Harvey right in front, hasn't had too many shots at goal, and that's a wobbly one. It comes off the upright, goes through from right in front. Nothing is going the Devils' way, but they have managed to convert. It's 32-6 to East. Darren Crothers leaving the field for the Tigers. Warming up for East is Peter Elmore. Johnny Lang can make all the changes he likes to protect his top 13 for the grand final. The wind still quite strong behind Norths, but it hasn't been of great assistance to them. Even though, Tom, it must be said, Norths are winning the second half, 6 points to 2. It's that 30-0 scoreline from the first half that's been their big problem.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing at the start of the game, like the game started 20 minutes late. Now, that wouldn't have helped Norths because Norths are a side that you have to keep pumped up all the time. So that definitely didn't help them. But in this second half, East, look, they've come back a cog. They're in second gear, and so that's why Norths have won this second half so far. But the second half, we've still got 15 minutes to go.
The Devils are becoming the walking wounded. We've got Jason Adams hobbling, and alongside him is Darryl Duncan, also on one leg. As the short kick tried, Anderson covers it up well for East.
Yeah, Peter Anderson's been a big boost to East today, Tommy, hasn't he? I mean, they lacked a bit of size against West last week, and Anderson, after a fairly lengthy suspension, played well.
Oh, my word, he has. We'll see. East really missed Paul Lasker. He was a very important cog in their machine. But Peter Anderson, look, he's a super player, and he's very, very tight out there now, Dave. But I'll tell you what, Johnny Lang will keep him on because he needs the run.
Adam Wanless out there for East as well.
He's on for Bruce Crosby.
Plenty of changes. Here's Peter Elmore. Got to remember that East are in the grand final in all three grades as it goes up on the last. Waiting underneath it, Huxtable. The ball swirling around in the wind. It's allowed to bounce. Mulvihill throws it backwards. Cannon with a great little kick. Crameri goes back and shovels it over the dead ball line. Fine work by both wingers, Cannon and Crameri. But again, that kick allowed to hang in the air. No one really went for the bomb. Mulvihill came up with it.
It's incredible, isn't it, Warren? Why don't players, well, the most important rule in rugby league is don't let a football bounce. Why don't they go up for it? You tell me.
Coming back from the sin bin is Scott Nielsen. Davis in trouble. Pollard quickly. It's been a good effort by East. But last year's premiers, they lost a few of their key men from last season. Ian Staines, Ken Jackson, Darren Wolans and Kurt Wrigley. But Johnny Lang has managed to put together another combination which is going to play another grand final. This kick from Mulvihill is a little too long. So it's 32 points to 6, and there's 9.5 minutes to go. Gerry Collins, you can take it through.
Yes, Warren. It's all over, though, for Norths for this season. And it'll be the Tigers against West. East and West meet in the grand final next week. 32-6 currently, East leading. So what can the Devils do now? They've got any spark left in them. Robert Campbell with that run, being forced backwards. Just outside their own 22. Craig Groff looking for some sort of a link to the backs. Now Tumababi into a bit of an opening. He can spy it. Through he goes across the halfway. But a lovely tackle there by Andrew Neve. He's had an outstanding all-round game, Neve. And the basketball continues, as Tommy Raudonikis called earlier. Once again out to Campbell. Looking back inside for somebody in support. There's Huxtable. Now Adams. And slipping the pass away. That not going to Tumababi. And in the end, Crameri having to dive on it.
Well, that ball travelled from one side to the other, and they made, 2 metres. And somebody's just got to get the ball and go forward to Norths.
Groff tries a run forward and a kick high. Once again, that ball bouncing. It's anybody's, and an opportunity for Norths now. There's Groff heading for the line. He'll go through and score. Craig Groff's over. Good work by Greg Street. Street there to take the pickings when the ball was knocked forward from the kick through, and Craig Groff to finish it off. So Norths had the ball. Groff ran forward, tried the little kick, and it just went straight in the air. Nobody knew where it was. Groff himself, you can see, looking and wondering. The referee with head down didn't know either. It goes off an East player. There to pick it up was Greg Street into a gap. Groff was there to support him, and away he went to score the try. So a good try to Groff, and he deserved it.
Yeah, well, Groff, he puts the ball high up in the air here, but the ball, it's got a disease, nobody wants it. And what happens? The East players knock the ball on, goes back to Mark Kellaway, who turns the ball inside to Craig Groff, who did well to back up his own kick. And Craig Groff, I can say one thing for him, he has not given up all day.
And the conversion successful. So that's made the score 32-12 now in favour of East over Norths.
All tries significantly have been scored with the win today. Norths have scored there too in the second half. The high ball put up. Once again, no one really wanting to have a go at it. Pops back, Kellaway on the spot. He does well to position Groff back on the inside. Then Groffy had to put the foot down. Converging defence, just enough pace. Groff in beside the post.
So 32-12 and the clock showing about 6 minutes to go. 20 points the difference, but it's probably still all way too late for Norths. Showing some sort of a comeback late, which they needed to do, of course. Andrew Stevens had quite a deal of possession of late.
Jerry, one player I think who's had a real big game for East is number 9, little Andrew Need. You know, he's controlled the rucks all day with his good passes, and he's had a bit to do with a few tries of these. He's had a wonderful game.
Yes, leading the tackle count for East as well with 21 tackles. So when you take that into consideration with some of those runs that he's made, the way he's set up other players, certainly has been outstanding. Here's a win against the head for Norths. So they seem determined to not finish completely with their heads down. And a good strong run there by Stevens, taking them up almost to the halfway. So Norths now spreading it wide as it goes out from Kellaway. And there's a really big opening for Norths. And a strong run as well by Danny Johnson. He's heading for the line, but is dragged down just 5 metres short. Getting in there quickly was Tumabavi saying, play it. Now the pass going across to Campbell, and he's very close, just short. Mackenzie a dummy half. Norths looking for another try. Perhaps they think there's still time, and they get a penalty. And I'm sure they'll take a quick tap again. There won't be need for too much discussion here. Groff takes the tap. Now trying it wide, Norths. Tumabavi stepping back inside. Support back inside in Kellaway. And just short of the line, only 1 or 2 metres short. The Devils getting dangerously close. Adams very close to forcing his way across using the size that he has. Not quite able to get through though.
The Norths aren't playing any forwards at all. Everybody's playing in the back line and they're just throwing the ball around willy-nilly.
Pat Tumabavi now about 5 metres out. Groff just couldn't get the pass away, had to take the tackle 10 metres short. Now Kelso. Didn't really look to see where the support was. And has lost the ball now, but it may be a knockback. The referee saying that that's the 5th tackle. And now the knock-on comes. And so, once again, it's a handover now to East. So, just falling apart again there for Norths. Johnny Lang looking a little concerned there, perhaps thinking that his players have relaxed perhaps a little bit too much in the last 5 minutes or so. And another penalty to East. So just 3.5 minutes to go. 32-12 in favour of East. Well, we just had a slight disruption there, and David Wright, I believe the referee found something interesting on the field.
That's an amazing situation there, Jerry. They've actually found a pair of scissors out there on the field. Now, these trainers go out with their little satchel strapped to their waist, and they are told time and time again that you are not allowed to take anything that's hard out. You can take some tape and whatever, but nothing that's solid. Now, obviously, somebody has. That's what they're concerned about, and it's happened. It could have been far more dangerous.
Certainly could have been. Meanwhile, East have taken play about 15 metres into North territory. Andrew Neve, nowhere for him to go. And now the kick through by Sean Davis. And Huxtable caught just outside his own 22. Oh, again, North's just not able to clear that ball from the ruck. Dan Johnson is caught.
Jerry, I said at the start of the match today that John Lang had to dig deep into his bag of tricks. Well, he's certainly done that, and I give the bloke a lot of credit. He's a great coach, and also give his players a great rap to come back from the beating they got last week at the hand of West.
And Tommy, you were saying about Andrew Neve, of course, having a coach like Johnny Lang, a former hooker as well, would be inspirational for him, I imagine.
Yeah, not a bad teacher. But actually, when one looks at the game too, Norths haven't gone too bad in this second half. Of course, Dunk's just sitting over there on the wing, and he's just calling the shot from out there.
That's all he's doing, I think, is calling the shots, because the action went over there and he was standing back.
I suppose it's not too bad.
Well, it's beginning to become slow motion there. Robert Campbell not even looking at the ball. Darryl Duncan just shakes his head, but there's not much he can do about it.
He wished he was sitting over here, I think, Tom. That ankle's obviously given him a lot of trouble. He'll be looking forward to sitting down shortly. And also the other front rower, Jason Adams, he struggled in the latter part of the second half, trying to make a tackle there and couldn't make it.
Peter Elmore caught just outside the 22. Drums equal between the two sides, 6-all. Now here goes Sean Davis heading towards that corner. And the penalties favouring Norths by 10-7. Peter Elmore gets to within 5 metres for East. Can they score again? The error's 48 to Norths. The little kick over the top, chase through. This will be interesting. But the ball going across the dead ball line. So into the last minute now, and Norths finishing the game where they started at, applying pressure, and East rather, applying the pressure, and Norths down by 32-12. Now last throw of the dice and an opportunity for Norths to finish it off, and that's Tumavavi heading for the corner and pushes off the last line of resistance, and Tumavavi goes away for a very much a consolation try, and that makes the score 32-16 with a conversion to come and the clock counting down in the last 10 seconds. Tumavavi, once he got clear, there wasn't going to be too much opposition for him. A good strong run by Mulvihill in cover. Couldn't quite get to Tumavavi. It was easy for him to push him away and then keep on going and score the try.
Yeah, good late try here by Norths, and Tumavavi just picks the ball up here, pins the ears back. But honestly, this second half, I haven't been very impressed by both sides. But I don't think Johnny Lang's given away too much. He doesn't want to show West what's up his sleeve, and good effort by East to come back after their loss last week.
Now here comes the conversion attempt, and it's away to the left of the uprights, and the referee will rule full time, and so East are into the grand final, having beaten Norths by 32 points to 16, a comprehensive win at Lang Park.
In a disappointing match, East scored 5 tries to 3, all of North's points coming in the second half. For East, tries to Street, 2 to McGowan, 2 to Rob Duncan. Mulvihill kicked 6 from 8. For Norths, Rob Campbell, Craig Groff and Pat Tumavave scored late tries. Guy Harvey kicked 2 from 3. Tom Raudonikis' choice as Lang Park Trust man of the match goes to East hooker Andrew Neve.
Andrew, what a great first half. 30-0 at half-time.
Oh, it makes it easy in the second half in a way. Everyone just clicked. Everything went together, and the guys with the forwards went forward, and you have to put everything together with them. The two, with our blocker in the front and Steve Herman doing their job. So.
Your own game, an excellent game. You kicked judiciously out of dummy half in the first half with the assistance of the wind as well.
Yeah, I was just something that Langy said, if it's there, it's there. So they just put it on, it just come through, so it was good.
And what about the backup from East? That was a real feature today. I mean, some long-distance tries scored by some good backing up.
Yeah, well, everyone says that we're a team that cuts down their mistakes, but if it's on, it's on. Langy says you don't have to throw the ball around, and when training this week, we talked about it, and just this week, the backup was there, so then tries went over.
Grand final next week. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
So it's East through to the grand final with Wests, and next weekend Gerry Collins, David Wright and Tom Raudonikis will carry you through that grand final. I'll be in Sydney as the finals action gets underway. On Saturday, it's the major preliminary semi-final. The second and third teams, Illawarra versus St George. Now all the action live at 3 o'clock right throughout Queensland, with an hour of highlights at 6 o'clock. And then on Sunday, it's the minor preliminary semi-final. Teams 4 versus 5, Newcastle versus West. An hour of highlights at 6 o'clock, and in an hour of highlights on the ABC, you get all the action. Then on Sunday, it's the Brisbane Grand Final, West versus East. The rematch from last year. It should be a truly worthy grand final. There'll be plenty of feeling in it. You can see the full match at 11 o'clock next Sunday.